Hello everyone, this is H to the Husky here, and I am actually going to be making a tutorial video on using hotkeys. And so I'm going to be casting this as I'm playing it, and I'm going to do my best to do a basic overview of hotkeys. Now I want to mention that this is, as far as hotkeys go, it is very important that you learn your own style of hotkeys, because for everyone it's different. So this is just kind of to get you started, to show you the basics of hotkeying. And if you're someone who has played, StarCraft a lot, or you've played it since you were a kid or whatever, then this is not really going to be the tutorial for you. I doubt you'll actually learn anything from this video, but I know that there are a lot of super new players out there looking to get into StarCraft 2, especially with the beta. It's going to be over in about a month. The game's going to be out in, like, what is it, 17 days or something ridiculous like that. So it is definitely quickly approaching, and so I wanted to make this really quick to talk about the hotkeys, and also, yeah, basically just hotkeys and maybe a little bit of micro stuff. So right down here along this bar, this is where it shows all your hotkey groups. So if I set this to a bunch of hotkeys, you can see that it shows exactly what it's setting it to. So I set this nexus to 1 through 0, and so if I go off the screen and I hit, I'll hit 5. It highlights 5. You can see it blinking down there just barely, and then it'll center it on there if you press it twice. So hotkeys are very, very important in StarCraft 2. It is one of the most important things that you need to learn in StarCraft. Even if you're only using really basic hotkey groups, it will make your game so much better. It will just blow your friends away if you're trying to get better than your friends. So, what I usually do is I have my main building. I keep in mind I do play Protoss. I usually set my main building to 3. So, for now, I'm just going to take all these off and set them to a probe. And so, I usually have my Nexus set to 3. So, you select whatever you want to set the control group to. You hold the control key on your keyboard. Imagine that. Sorry, I don't know what it is for Macs. I'm such a Mac noob. Anyways, you hold control, and then while you're holding control, you press 3. And so, now that control group is set to 3, you can cycle between these units very easily. So if I press 1, because I have probes set to 1, if I press 1, it'll center it on the probe if you double click, and if I press 3, it'll select the nexus. So that's how you cycle between control groups very, very easily. And so I usually have my nexus set to 3, because for Protoss, the hotkey for probe is actually E. So I hit 3 and then E, and then I basically go to whatever control group I have after that. It's just really easy. If you set your hand on your keyboard for as least for Protoss, this is how it works. If you set your hand on your keyboard with your middle finger on 2, and then your index finger on 3, and your ring finger on 1. It's just really easy to hit 3 and then E, and it's very, very easy to do it like that. So that is what I set my Nexus to, and also Chrono Boost is going to be the hotkey C, which your Nexus has, Chrono Boost, so you basically hit 3, C, and click on what building you want. Now, that is so much faster than so say you're over here, and you're messing around with your zealots, yay, like down here. So say you're microing a little bit. Just to do 3C, and then... So 3C and then click. I missed it there, actually. So 3C, click. That is so much faster than having your zealots selected, then coming up here, clicking on your Nexus, clicking on Chrono Boost, and then clicking on what building you want. It's really, really important that you get to know these basic hotkeys. It really does make your game go more than twice as fast. Like how fast you play will more than double once you get down just basic hotkeys. So just 3C and then Chrono Boost on the building you want. I usually will set my gateways, so I'm going to actually throw down a couple more gateways here just to, have more than one. But I usually set my gateways to 2, and this is in the early game. So now I have 2, so I have 3 for Nexus, 2 for gateways, and 1 for, in the beginning it'll be my first probe, and then later as the game progresses I'll set my army to 1. So now I have 3 Nexus, so I can go 3C and then click on any of my gateways or my Nexus. 2 will be my gateways, and then as soon as I get a cybernetics core out, then I will change the hotkey for my gateways, because with Protoss, once you get a cybernetics core out, it actually has a built-in default hotkey, which is W. So once you have your gateways turned into warp gates, you can access those by pressing the W key. And so then after I do that, I'll have to research it here in just a little bit, and I will chrono boost the heck out of it. Then you can get rid of that second hotkey for your gateway. So I'm just going to make a bunch of zealots here, and yeah, so I just do that. So let's make some more pylons. And another important thing is learning the hotkeys. Well, that guy actually got stuck. That doesn't happen very often. Is learning the hotkeys for all the basic buildings. So with Protoss, it's just really easy. If you guys can help it, you at least don't ever want to click the hotkey for Nexus, Assimilator, Pylon, Gateway, and Forge. Because these are all buildings you're going to make almost every single game. So you want to be able to make those as much as possible. I got to keep making guys here to make sure I don't die from the computer. So if you have your probe selected, all you have to do is press B to bring up the build tab. And then Nexus, it's pretty self-explanatory. Oh, I'm under attack. I can handle that. And so you have your probe selected, you press B, and these ones are really self-explanatory aside from Pylon. So Nexus is in, so you just do B in. I mean, it's so easy, like they're right next to each other. You can do that so fast, there's no reason to click that. And then build Pylon is BP. Or not BP, it's BE rather. Sorry, I'm used to Starcraft. I actually played Starcraft 1 right before the beta came up. So it's BE, and again, you can do that pretty easily once you get used to it. And you're going to make, 20, 30, 40 pylons a game. So you want to get to where you're really comfortable hitting BE. And it's really simple. It's very important that you do that. So Assimilator is just BA. So BA, 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 BA. Like, you cannot do this fast if you're clicking those buttons whatsoever. And what are my guys doing? Apparently they ran all the way down here and are now attacking the computer. So that's good. Oh, I don't have any gas. And so BE is for Pylon, BA is Assimilator, and then BG is Gateway. So if you just practice those, they're actually really, really easy to do. Now, once you get that down to where so if you're someone who doesn't use any hotkeys at all, just play a couple of games where you use one hotkey, and then work on using two hotkeys. So if you play Protoss, maybe just force yourself every time you make a pylon to do BE. Don't click it, just hit BE on the keyboard. It's a lot simpler than clicking it. Like it's for a lot of people it's out of their comfort zone, but I mean you can do this so fast with just with the hotkeys. And so that is why it's really, really important to actually use that. And BF is for Forge, so you can do that really easily as well. I actually, when I do that one, for some reason I do it with one finger, but you can do it very quickly as well on that one. And so it is very crucial to start learning these basic hotkeys. What I recommend to people who are learning StarCraft 2 like for the very first time, and they are, trying to get these hotkeys down, or they're a little intimidated by the hotkeys, just learn a couple at a time and learn the most important hotkeys. Like, it is not super crucial that you know the hotkey for Fleet Beacon. I mean, yeah, later down the road, of course you want to know all the hotkeys, but how many Fleet Beacons are you going to make per game? Probably one tops, and you're not even going to make a Fleet Beacon in most games. So, I mean, yeah, you can learn that later down the road, but gateways, pylons, assimilators, forges, nexuses, all that stuff, you want to learn those as quickly as you can. So I'm working on the warp gate right now, and I'll show you what I mean by it changes the hotkey for these. And again, as a Protoss player, learn all the hotkeys for the three basic units: your Zealot, your Sentry, and your Stalker. Zealot is just Z, Sentry is E, and Stalker is S. So if you look at those hotkeys on your keyboard, Z, S, E, they are all kind of diagonal right next to each other. Those keys are really, really easy to hit once you get used to it. So that is very crucial. Again, you may not need to know the hotkey for Templar, although it is pretty easy to do. But just learn at first the hotkeys for these gateway units. That is what I always recommend to people who are just now learning. Okay, and one more thing with Protoss is that you want to learn how to queue up buildings, which is really, really easy, but it makes it so much easier if you know the hotkeys. So I'm going to queue up a couple of pylons. So all you have to do is hold shift, press B for your build tab, press E, and then click, click, click. And that will queue up a bunch of buildings to make for the pylons. Now, if you want to get different units,